Everybody think back to when you were 7 years old. Your parents typically dressed you in pants and shirts and clothes. It's February 1818, and you are 7 years old. You're in the kitchen of a farmhouse on a plantation, and the only thing that you have to wear is a linen shirt that is too big for you and it goes to your knees. You are huddled at a stove with your cousins, and this is what Frederick Douglass did when he was a child, when he became a slave. The three things I'm going to talk about today is his childhood, his life as a slave, and his freedom from slavery. Frederick Douglass was born February of 1818. They didn't give a date because typically they didn't accurately document when slaves were born, so it's around about, not really for sure. He was born in Maryland on the Holmesville farm. His name that his mother gave him when he was born was Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. He was born, his mother's name was Harriet, and it's known to be that his father was Aaron Anthony, the plantation owner. But at that time, plantation owners did not claim the black children. So he's not really for sure exactly who his father is. When Frederick was a baby, he was sent off to live with his grandmother. His mother was a field hand, so she could not take care of Frederick. So his grandmother had a cottage at the edge of the plantation, and he went to live with her. He saw his mother 4 or 5 times as a child from birth to 7 years old, so he really didn't know her. She died when he was 7, when he became a slave. The next thing I'd like to talk about is life as a slave. When Frederick was 7 years old, he was taken to Aaron Anthony's plantation by his grandmother. His grandmother told him that they were going on a long journey. And she took him out to the plantation and said, "Look, see all these children playing?" He said, "Yeah." And she said, "We'll go play with the children." He played with them for about 2 hours, and one of them said, "Your grandmother's gone." And he said, "What? What? You know, where's she at? That's who I live with." And that's how he became a slave. Frederick was the type of child that everyone loved. He had a good sense of humor. You know, he got around. He didn't really get in trouble. You know, he did what everybody wanted to do. We didn't have problems. When he was 8 years old, he was sent to Baltimore to live with one of Aaron's brothers. He was sent there to take care of their child, Sophia. He ran errands. He done everything for them. While he was in Maryland, the lady of the house taught him how to read and write. When he learned this, when Thomas learned that he had learned to read and write, he immediately sent him back to Maryland because it was unlawful for slaves to learn how to read and write, because obviously they'd be able to read newspapers and figure out that slavery was wrong, especially in the North. He became about 12, and he was sent back to Maryland to the farm so that he could become a field hand. He worked in the farm. He was really mad because while he was in Baltimore, he learned how, he read about abolition, and he started some groups. He joined the groups. So when he went back to the farm, he was really angry. So he became a teacher in a school. He left the old farm, and in 1838, he actually escaped to the North. So he was not a slave anymore. Brings me to my next point, freedom from slavery, as I like to call it. In September 1838, he married Anne Muir. He began speaking at American anti-slavery social meetings. He went on lecture tours. They published a book, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. He became involved in the Underground Railroad, and he met with President Lincoln and Johnson to discuss, freedom for the slaves in the South because he didn't believe in it. The last thing I want to leave you with today is a quote by the publishers of PBS.com. It's something that Frederick said: "Going to live in Baltimore laid the foundation and opened the gateway to all my subsequent prosperity." Thank you.